Championship game as the season reaches its conclusion, and the Tigers today host Reading, who at the start of the season put 3 past us in what was a terrible afternoon at the Madejski Stadium. So a point to prove then for the Tigers as Reading go in search of only their 2nd pair of victories. Preston North End are the only team so far. Reading have been able to beat both home and away, but the Tigers fall into that category if Reading are to put in a fine away performance. They've only won twice on the road, Preston being one of them, of course. Ipswich Town 2-1 victory a fortnight ago is their other away victory, where the Tigers managed to get back to decent away form, winning 2-0 at Portman Road in very easy fashion in the end, as Ipswich huffed and puffed. The Tigers were able to just deflect anything the Tractor Boys threw at the Tigers. Nigel Adkins names this lineup today. Jarrod Bowen will be hoping that he can carry on his goal-scoring form and extending that record even further. The big inclusion is Marcus Henriksen, returning from his 2-match suspension. Pugh keeps a place as well in the starting 11. Rhys Burke and Jordi de Wijs, with Eric Lehigh and Todd Kane keeping that solid back 4 that started at Portman Road. Chris Martin, of course, was at Reading last year on loan. He can only find a place on the bench today. And Reading looked like this today. A few different inclusions from the previous fixture against the Tigers in the 3-0 victory. And it's a squad that hosts plenty of former youth hot prospects. A former Arsenal youngster in Martinez, who's here on loan, of course. And also Manchester United, Chelsea and Benfica can say they've had players here in their academy in the Reading lineup today. However, Reading, under Jose Gomez, start today 19th in the Championship. Not as glamorous as previous. And there is the man who will be hoping to make it 9 in a row at the KCOM. Jarrod Bowen didn't score, unfortunately, at Portman Road, but he helped Kamil Grzycki to his brace at Portman Road. And he will most certainly, as his name is called out to the crowd, he's waving away. The Tigers fans will certainly be hoping that he is one man who will be staying here at the KCOM in the summer, following all the speculation that is floating around. Fraser Campbell had a part to play in the first goal at Portman Road, getting the assist, laying the ball off into the path of Grzycki. But let's hope today that it'll be him who manages to get a couple of goals. He netted, of course, in the 1-1 draw at the Madejski Stadium a couple of seasons ago, when the Tigers unfortunately fell short within the last few minutes down in the south of England. Jackson Irvine, who's got a fan club with him today, who've flown all the way from Melbourne just to see him play, according to fans outside the ground. Having a quick word with them before kick-off, and let's hope that their journey is made worthwhile, with Jackson Irvine putting in a fine performance. Referee today is Mr. Tim Robinson, who around this point last year gave 4 penalties in the 4-3 victory against Norwich. The Tigers today starting out as the favourites, Reading the outsider. In what is Grand National Day, will there be any surprises? Or will the Tigers be able to keep on winning? So let's find out, as Nigel Adkins will hope for a response and a bit of revenge, as he was, of course, former manager at the Madejski Stadium, and they certainly weren't very comforting to him the last time these two played. The Tigers will play from right to left in this first half in black and amber, and Reading are in their classic blue and white hoops. Marshall to clear away. Reading will be patient with the ball, we suspect, judging by the fact that they love to play out at the back and love to hold on to the ball as much as possible and really wait for the right moment to apply the killer balls forward. But Tim Robinson is going to make Reading's defence do a spot of set-piece defending within the first minute, as Campbell went to ground and a free kick over on the left-hand side. Grzycki, I'm told to pronounce his name, swings it in, looks good, but it's just a little bit too long from the head of Jordi de Wijs. Emiliano Martinez clutching that one calmly. He was the man in goal for Arsenal when Reading played against Arsenal in the 7-5, if my memory serves me correctly, in the League Cup. As Reading will play out of the back. They play the long ball forward, but no one in particular in blue and white. Jordi de Wijs finds Reece Burke, who stayed out for quite a while in the pre-match warm-up. Everyone else had gone in to get changed. Reece Burke continuing to warm up, playing long balls to kitman John Eyre. And the Tigers here with a throw-in over on the right-hand side. Henriksen's first touch back in the team following that 2-match suspension. Reece Burke finds Marshall. Plenty of teams still to negotiate our way past in our ambitious playoff quest, as Pugh's touch is loose. Reading today starting 19th in the table, 4 points above the drop zone. We'll be conscious of sides below them. We'll be having a little look over their shoulder as this one pans out. Cleared away again. Now Bowen. Little step to calm the ball down. A little touch back towards Reece Burke. Tigers will be patient in this one, as well as Reading. Jordi de Wijs having a good look at what's ahead of him. Lehigh. He tries to thread it down the line, but that's easily intercepted. Andy Yardom playing the ball back. Gets it in again. Tries to thread it through. It's a decent touch from Henriksen to find Irvine. Now Grzycki on the move here. He's flirted it. Only finds the Reading man. And now Henriksen loses out in the centre. So Barrow, who has bags of pace and will be one to watch out for today, trying to bring it forward, but the Tigers have it back again with Bowen, linking up with Pugh. Now Campbell, nice move this. Here's Grzycki again. Takes it on himself, but no real angle of attack available to him. But he plays it to Bowen. And again, the Tigers here with an early spot of relentlessness on Reading's penalty area. But they didn't get as many shots away as they would like to. And they certainly didn't get one away to test the keeper. Irvine. Taking his time on the ball, as Reading didn't really seem too bothered about coming to pressurise. And that might be the key tactical plan for the Tigers today. Whenever Reading get possession and they have it deep inside their own half, it'll be important to press without losing shape. Grzycki now, Lehigh in front of him. There's the little through ball again. Returned. Just about keeps it in play. Lehigh working hard, doing enough to put off the Reading man. Oh, lovely touch from Bowen. Grzycki tries to play it in to the path of Campbell. Martinez equal to it, but a nice little bit of intelligent play from the Tigers, playing with lots of freedom, it would seem. Irvine with that ball, and an instant pass from Bowen. Campbell was waiting, ready to pounce, but the keeper getting his angles right. So Reading going into this one with a decent patch of form. 2 defeats in 11 games, both home and away. Those 2 defeats, only one of them coming on their travels. Leeds United, the other side to really put Reading to the sword when they beat them 3-0 in their own backyard. Free kick will be given. They've only managed to score at 2 top half teams so far this season. Reading, since they took on West Brom back on the 15th of October. Free kick played forward, looking for Pugh. Well intercepted by Campbell. Now Henriksen. They'll look to find Jordi de Wijs. Lehigh. Decent play and a decent start here from the Tigers. In comes the cross, but unfortunately it goes out of play without making connection with anybody. Certainly the fans' favourite at the moment, his song being sung on repeat in the early minutes of this encounter, which has been all black and amber so far after 7 minutes. Not as many shots as we would like to have got away. Key games above the Tigers in the Championship this afternoon, which could make such a significant impact on the Tigers' finishing position come 5 o'clock here in the UK. Lehigh. Pugh thought the ball was going to bounce in an opposite direction. Played away. Lehigh. Was cleared away by Reading's captain Liam Moore, who was so in form last year, hasn't really been able to keep that form going, as Reading really have not been able to put too many good results together in the form of wins. They try and play the ball into the box for the first occasion. Easily gathered by Marshall, and the Tigers here will look to start quickly with Grzycki. And now Henriksen. It's Pugh this time on the left-hand side, and that's a really nice touch, but he's offside. I don't even think Pugh realised, because he seemed so calm when the ball came down. But a linesman over on the far side with his flag up straight away. Matt Miazga playing in the defence today, former Chelsea man. Reading again trying to play it through, but Henriksen can cut that one out. So a real mixture in Reading's squad in terms of size and players that have played at the highest level. A few players who have stuck around in the Championship. Relatively the same for the Tigers in some aspects. Likes of Marshall and Lehigh. Campbell as well. Reading here will look to have heavy construction in their build-up. Then it does go out of play against Barrow's pass. Reading without Bodvarsson today, who scored in the previous fixture and got the precious equaliser for Reading in the previous season. Could be a big miss this afternoon. Here's Bowen. Bowen in the end picking out Irvine, who tried to get out of the way of that pass. Grzycki, and now Lehigh. That's flirted again, but pounced upon nicely by Martinez. So far, Reading's keeper has dealt with everything accordingly, showing that little bit of Premiership, Premier League experience from time to time when Arsenal have taken on the lesser opposition in the top tier. Lewis Baker. That pass wasn't the greatest from Miazga. In the centre now with Ajaria. And Yedom looking to play it forward. Netted in the 3-0 victory. Got the third goal, but he's going to have to work back here at a frantic pace as Irvine looks to pick out Pugh, with Grzycki in support as well. It is still Pugh. He gets it back, and now Irvine. And that's blocked. Pugh feeling he could have done maybe a little bit more there. A little bit of a poor touch as the ball escaped. Lehigh now finds our number 8 again. Grzycki will look to lay it off to Pugh, but that's decent defending there from Ajaria. Similar tackle to on the halfway line, gets it down and then spins around while on the floor. And gets the ball to a Reading man. Cleared up the centre. Lehigh. Reading still with a few patches of the style of play which Jaap Stam tried to install into this outfit, where they would play matches with high percentages of possession but with not much reward. And Baker playing the ball back to Miazga. Wide it goes. Barrow having a battle with Todd Kane, and Todd Kane pushes him to the floor, and that's a free kick. Tyler Blackett playing over at left back as well, getting involved in that little passage of play. He's one to watch out over at left back for Reading, former Manchester United man. But 12 minutes gone, and most of the attacking opportunities in this game have come for the Tigers. Winning it back strongly in the centre. Jordi de Wijs looks to send Campbell here, but the ball just in front of him. Stuck his toes out to try and bring the ball under control. It would have needed a glorious touch and then an even better finish. Yidom. A little dummy in the centre. Reading now trying to carve out an opportunity. As Riesberg on the slide puts the interception in. And after 13 minutes, Reading now just having their first real spell where they tap on the door, just ask a couple of questions of the Tigers' defence, but so far repelled with no real trouble. On halfway. Two Reading men wanting to receive that ball, Ejaria and Blackett, but it's the Tigers who clear it away. Straight up towards Martinez. That's a big block. Pugh could get onto this, but not for the intervention of the Reading man in the centre. And that was a bad tackle. That was on Rinomhota. And Jordi de Wijs coming in, mistiming it badly. His hands go up in innocence, but that is an early yellow card for the Dutchman. 14 minutes gone, got that all wrong. But he may, from the touch from the Reading man, have just been slightly caught out there, Jordi de Wijs. Lewis Baker just playing this one short. Thankfully, the Reading man is up on his feet with no real injury. There was a better tackle there from the other centre-half, Riesberg. Grzycki. That one just goes out of play. Applause from Reading's manager, Jose Gomez, who so far taken 21 points in 16 games as manager, which isn't sufficiently as impressive as what his predictions would have been when taking over as the manager from certain Mr. Clement, who only got 18 in 20. Barrow looking to keep this one in, and it will be a corner. As Kane was sprinting back. That was good play though from Reading's winger. And now their first big set piece. And Barrow taking his time following that collision as the ball went out of play. And Barrow up on his feet, now looking to play this ball into someone in the centre, but instead goes short. Ejaria here, laid off to the edge of the box again. The shot may just come in now, and it is! Oh, it's a stunner! Lewis Baker, out of nowhere, he's picked that one out, and Reading take an early lead. 16 minutes gone. Reading's first real shot of the match, has got the Reading fans smiling and clapping. Steps away from Pugh, takes his touch and rockets it in. Marshall, flat on his back, has got no real chance of stopping that one. Just takes two simple touches and in it goes. Marshall will have not expected that one coming. The speed of the shot as well. It looked a little bit closer on second evidence towards Marshall, but you can see that he is smiling and actually struggling to keep his happiness in. Reading fans will express their emotions now in a more positive nature to how they would have started, but Reading then, first shot, it's come from outside the box. They lead by 1-0. Free kick goes Hull City's way. So all this sudden heavy attacking from the Tigers, which didn't really bring too many shots. Reading in front. Here's Reece Burke. Device coming out to claim this one, still going to charge in despite being on that yellow card. And Reading's fans are already starting to chant towards our gaffer. Device finds Reece Burke, the urgency suddenly disappearing. Here's Kane. Well, the Tigers here very slowly going about their business in search of an equaliser as Henriksen fires it long. Here's the goal scorer, Baker. Miete for Reading. Well, he's played it inside as well to Ajaria. Reading all of a sudden here are heading towards the final third again. Ajaria trying the fancy flick, this time stamped out by the Tigers, but all of a sudden here the Tigers need to gain some initiative because Reading here lead by 1-0, and it looks to have taken a bit of wind out of Hull City's sails. Lehigh. A defeat today would pretty much end, you would imagine, any real playoff charge for the Tigers, as mathematically still very much in the equation. Started the day 6 points off the playoffs, so mathematically still the possibility, but after today with 6 games to go, it would be an awful lot of points in such a short space of time to chalk back as the ball is played up towards Campbell. And now Kane. Kane playing it wide here towards Campbell, wouldn't expect him out there, but the ball is deflected. And out of play it goes for a corner. Fraser Campbell trying to motivate and trying to get the side going again. As it would appear, the Tigers have stalled ever so slightly as Grzycki moves across to take this one. Grzycki's ball in. That is very strong, and it's over everybody's heads. The man who scored twice couldn't pick out anyone in black and amber there. was a pretty poor delivery, and so far Martinez, Reading's goalkeeper, has not had too much of an issue in this game so far, and already Reading feeling they could just about run down the clock. You can see though how they're set up. They've got a player on each. Well, Tim Robinson now blowing his whistle, wants things to speed up. Reading finally get themselves back underway, and they've given the ball away very cheaply. Grzycki now to pick out Irvine. Irvine floats it into the path of Campbell. Jarrod Bowen deflected out for another corner, but poor from Reading there from their own goal kick. Tigers pressed really high there, and they still tried to play it. Bowen trying to create room for himself, but decent enough Reading defending. Well, Bowen hoping to be provider here. He swings it in, flicked on by Burke, and just out of play before Grzycki could get a touch. And at halfway through the first half here, Reading are the side that lead. Tim Robinson is laying down a letter of the law here. He's actually called over both Martinez and Liam Moore. And a word here about the time wasting, as we have only played 22 minutes. Tim Robinson is a referee who does not shy away from giving cards out for things like time wasting. And I think the message now is any more time wasting, it's only going to be added on, as he points to his watch. Martinez hitting it long this time. Oh, Yedom with the throw in here. Andy Crosby clapping his hands, trying to get the press and the pressure being asserted once more by the Tigers. Marshall's clearance isn't great. Reading now have the ball back. Yedom again. Ejaria goes down. I think they went looking for a free kick there, Reading. Campbell tries to play the ball on to Grzycki. However, out of play it goes again, and Reading get the throw in. Suddenly, a couple of cogs have fallen off for the Tigers. Not really being able to replicate what they've started in the first 10 minutes, where they were pressurising, getting into the final third. Here's Mata. Headed back by Burke into the path of Marshall, who just gives the ball straight back and wants to try and get the urgency back into the Tigers' play here. Poor ball forward by Rhys Burke. Reading now looking to move forward. That's a decent little through ball, but the touch isn't great. Campbell. Decent footwork, he puts the slide tackle in. Advantage is given though, and the free kick will now be given. Another cruncher on Reading's number 35. He already devised the first man. Decent footwork there from Campbell, but he just clatters the man first. No yellow card this time from Tim Robinson, when really that could have warranted one as well. Grzycki gathers it in a decent position, now looks to try and work it wide, and he's still going here, Grzycki. Henriksson looks to thread it back through, and Henriksson and Grzycki have a look at each other, and a couple of words exchanged. Went into an interesting position there. Grzycki looks as though he may have been offside. That's why he tried to sort of turn back in. Irvine shoved off the ball pretty easily, but Nigel Adkins with the rally cry, trying to keep the players going. Again, taking their time. Reading trying to play the ball a little bit different to their normal style. Grzycki. On he comes. Down this left-hand side. Campbell waiting in the middle. Tries to just play it along the ground. A bit frustrated there as well. Ball back now with Reece Burke. And now Kane. Tigers will be a lot more relaxed if they can get an equaliser. It might just calm things back down for them. Well, Tim Robinson again instructing Reading to crack on with things here. Reading are seriously trying to run the clock down already. A little touch by Pugh. Rinomhota working it wide. Trying to clear away. Reading here now with heavy structure, but they are really getting themselves forward more and more often in this fixture, as now the ball finds Mite, the top scorer. And now it looks as though a free kick has been given, and the Tigers players not happy at all. Here's why. Well, Lehigh there, allowed to just go in with a shoulder barge, and a free kick given in similar circumstances to Hull City's second penalty, really. A foul given when least expected. Reading 1-0 up with their only shot of the game so far. The goal scorer, Lewis Baker, stands over this one, with Barrow as well as the left foot option, despite Baker really wrapping his left foot around the opener. And it is Baker who will fire this one into the equation to try and give Reading a 2-0 lead. Baker swings it in, and off the crossbar it comes. And that was off a Tigers man last. A huge chance again for Reading. And that one was pretty lucky for the Tigers there. Decent ball played in, searching for Ejaria. It was Pugh who got the touch onto the crossbar. So Barrow, this time to swing it in, looking for the big man from the back in Miazga. But out of play it goes for a goal kick. Half an hour gone here. The Tigers need to up their game. They trail by 1-0. Pugh. Henriksen. Tigers have had plenty of possession so far in this game, 57%. Are they able to maybe try and make it happen as they try and launch it long, searching for Grzycki again, but out of play. And an offside flag is raised. And plenty of negatives, really, which Nigel Adkins will probably want to get off his chest at half-time, the way things are going. And Grzycki here just having a word with his teammates again. Once again with Henriksen. Throwing giving Reading's way. Tigers fans sit pretty silently at the moment watching this one. Decent header there by Jordi de Wijs. Both sides exchanging possession. Here's Martinez. Reading now trying to play their way out to the back. And that's maybe why playing out the back wasn't the best option. As Liam Moore, the captain, slices that one horribly. Marshall. Jordi de Wijs. Gives it a big thump forward. Campbell can head it down when least expected. Grzycki trying to win the ball. Baker. Well, it's certainly not the most entertaining of fixtures so far. The Tigers trail by 1-0. Martinez. Grzycki. The Tigers certainly need a spark here. And will it come now? Lehigh trying to stride on, and that will be a free kick. And Eric Lehigh, again, not happy with Tim Robinson, the referee. He's got the decision. He tried to get forward, the tackle coming in by Rinomhota. I think Lehigh may have been asking now whether or not it should have been a card, but the Tigers, nevertheless, have an opportunity. This one may just be a little bit of a too wide angle to have a shot at for Grzycki. But you know he likes the ambitious attempts on goal, but there's plenty of men up to aim at. It is floated over towards the back post. It's gone over everybody again. And out of play it goes for a goal kick. Ejaria putting his hands up this time in innocence, say I didn't touch it. And indeed he didn't. As with just over 10 minutes of normal time, it's not really clicking for the Tigers here, following the 2-0 victory away at Ipswich Town. Ipswich starting today 19th in the championship table. But as things stand, looking at the live scores, it's a good day for the sides at the bottom of the table, so it's a good job for in Reading's hat that they're winning. However, for the Tigers, it's an absolute catastrophe, because that would pretty much end our realistic playoff chances, as the way things stand, we're 7 points adrift with just 6 games to go. I would have to say, considering the number of teams left to negotiate, that would probably be the end of it. Well, here come Reading again, and they try another one from range. Marshall this time can gather nicely, looking for options here as he wants to get the ball away. He goes in search of Lehigh, decent chest control, and now finds Pugh. Henriksson. The moans now from the Tigers fans as Hull work it again into the defensive line. Rhys Burke looking to carry this one out. Irvine. Rhys Burke getting the ball back again, and now with Marshall. It's been a significant amount of time since Bowen had a touch of the ball. Campbell, looking to flick it on for Bowen, but it was nowhere near him in the end. So the Tigers win it back here. Now Pugh looking to pull wide to receive the pass from the Tigers' defence. Lehigh has just kept it in. And with Lehigh thinking it should have been Hull City's throw-in, the decision actually goes the opposite way. Signalled by the linesman. Bit of a 50-50 really, as the ball was stopped on the line. But Nigel Adkins still watches on, trying to get his side going, whilst Jose Gomez will be very happy to see his side in front. Blackett loses out. Irvine. Ball just gets away from the Reading man, but it also gets away from anyone in black and amber. Now Reading, over on this right-hand side, look to come forward with Barrow into the box. It's a little low one played in. Henriksen's touch. All calmed down by Pugh. And now Irvine. Here's Lehigh. Now Pugh again. They're going to have to go backwards once again, the Tigers here. It's the only passing option, as Jordi de Wijs now looks to try and fire it forward up towards Bowen, but it runs through to find the keeper, and the keeper only. Henriksen, now Bowen. A chance is brewing. It's Grzycki here, waiting and waiting. He now finds Kane, who returns the ball, floated in. Pugh waiting. Reading's defence there was not expecting the number 8 to get in the equation. This floated ball in, and Yardom managing to shield it enough to take it out of play. Martinez had a little look at him as if to say, what was you doing? But a corner kick here, and it's the spark the Tigers need coming. This time it's Pugh on corner duties. He swings it in, decent, and just wide of the target. Jackson Irvine, I think, was the man who got the touch. So this is a decent ball in, right over towards the back post. Irvine leaps well. I think Burke wanted to maybe get a touch too. Reading giving it away. Bowen. Their short goal kick strategy has been their only flaw, really, Reading, since the 10-minute point, when the Tigers started very brightly. And these short goal kicks are the reason why the Tigers are able to get up the pitch now from losing possession inside their own half. Reading. Here's Grzycki. Pugh trying to make a run. Jordi de Wijs heads that one into space. Despite that one bad tackle, Jordi de Wijs having a decent game so far. There's less than 5 minutes of normal time. Clean sheet at home has gone, but more important to the Tigers is we trail by 1-0. And certainly need to put a stop to that scoreline. Free kick given. Irvine giving Urinamoto a kick. There's Martinez. Oh, he's confident enough on the ball to take it away from Campbell. He would have had egg on his face though if he'd got that all wrong. Bowen. He'll want to try and get the Tigers in gear. Ejaria remains down, and that's loosely given away by the Tigers in the midfield. So a couple of players from the midfielders and the attackers here getting back. Miazga. Yiadom. Now Irvine. Here comes Burke. Kane. Bowen will want to keep that record going for as long as possible after overtaking Bill Bradbury and his 60-year record that stands in second place now to Jarrod Bowen, the most consecutive games scored at home. Grzycki, and he will hit it, but he has fired it horrendously over the crossbar. A form of appreciation, but it hasn't really clicked for Grzycki in this first half compared to Portman Road 7 days ago. Yiadom, similar to the Medeski Stadium at the start of the season here. The Tigers not really very energised in the most part. Reading into the penalty area, looking to get those shot away with Meite. Irvine. Now Pugh. Only one direction he can go, and that's inside, but it's a very neat turn away from Campbell. Plenty of bodies flooding forward for the Tigers now into the last few moments of this first half. Grzycki now with Campbell to pick it at the box, and he's also found Bowen, and it's just wide of the target. Really intelligent run and a little bit of a cleaner connection. We could have been looking at level scores. Played in, and Jarrod Bowen just and only just getting it wide of the target there. In the midst of these replays, Martinez has been booked for time wasting. Tim Robinson finally having enough of it. And now Martinez, with a puff of the cheeks, will look to clear this away again, and is still taking his time and trying to rattle the Tigers fans in the north stand. Todd Kane. Somehow the ball has escaped his clutches. Well, there's been no injuries and no substitutions in this first half, but Tim Robinson has given 3 minutes of additional time for the delays in the restarts. Grzycki wanted that one playing forwards. It was the wrong ball for him. Organisation needed here, and calm heads at the end of this first half. If the Tigers can at least finish it strongly in the last few moments, there'll be a couple of positives to take into the second half. But that's a really good ball forward, but well read by Blackett. Now Barrow. Reading trundle over halfway. Ejaria. Well tackled by Henriksen. Now Grzycki looks to find Bowen. Pugh and Campbell waiting in the middle, but Bowen looks to find Campbell. Just ever so slightly misplaced, and now Martinez is claiming that he's been caught in the face, and Campbell showing his frustrations. Tim Robinson here will have a little bit of work to do. The North Stand certainly showing their frustrations on the touchline as well. Andy Crosby, Nigel Adkins speaking to the fourth official. Here it is. In it came, and you can just see there, he just catches him ever so slightly, but certainly not enough contact there for Martinez to go down in the fashion that he did. And he's certainly not made any friends at that end of the ground, the former Arsenal man, who sends it careering away once more. There's Bowen, and still he goes on. Concentration needed from Reading's keeper as he's being hounded by the fans. Little ball in to find Bowen, looking to find room, but the 6 Reading men inside the penalty area, and they finally deal with it. Jaria. Reading trying to finish with a flourish here to this first half. Slowing play down as much as possible here, Reading. All the way back it goes to Martinez, who gets boos from the Tigers crowd. And there's a couple of boos there just as Reading and the Tigers walk off here at half-time. A few complaints towards the referee, Tim Robinson, who's got a bit of a... to be honest, in this first half has had a fair few things to deal with, but Reading lead through their 16th minute goal through Lewis Baker, which has been the clear highlight of this first half. A really good shot on his left foot from the edge of the area. He's the man who's made the difference here at the KCOM Stadium. Reading have not had many chances. The Tigers have had a fair few, but not a single one on target so far, and there certainly needs to be an up in performance from the Tigers if they are to turn this one around. Reading are doing their bit of the bargain for their quest to get away from the bottom 3. The Tigers, however, trail. They trail by 1-0. Well, welcome back then for the second half here at the KCOM Stadium, where the Tigers trail by 1-0 against Reading. Not the best first half. The goal from Lewis Baker looked to have taken a little bit of wind out of the sails. Started to get a little bit better towards the end of the second half. But most importantly, it is still 1-0 to the Royals. Kamil Grzycki getting involved most of the time, but has not been able to fire home in the same sort of style as he did at Portman Road. Emiliano Martinez booked for time wasting in the first half and now has another stand to make enemies with after his antics in the first 45 minutes. Tim Robinson may just have to dish out a couple more cards here in this second half if that carries on. So we are going to get back underway then. The question is, what will have Nigel Adkins said at half-time here as the Tigers are going in search of at least an equaliser here at the KCOM Stadium. So we are back underway. Lehigh trying to win the ball back. And already the frustrations of the officials' decisions within the first 20 seconds. Henriksson certainly had his words to say at half-time as the captain. Irvine. Real touch of head tennis in the centre. Now Jordi Device. Over now towards Kane. And Kane goes for the ambitious, but not very successful. Well, already the boos for Martinez as he looks to clear this one away and hits it long, and he isn't wasting any time in clearing that one away. Here's Jordi de Wijs. Now Pugh. Tripped in the centre, that'll be a free kick. Riesberg. Almost a touch of confusion there between the two Reading players. Liam Moore will shield this one as much as possible. Bowen wins the header. The Tigers do need a turnaround in similar scenario to Swansea City, who were trailed by a goal to nil at half-time and was able then to win by 3 goals to 2. But of course, for any real opportunity at the playoffs in this one, in this season, the Tigers will have needed to at least beat Reading, you would feel, and Wigan in the final 7 games to really stake any claim and see what the table says afterwards. Because Hull's run-in is an incredibly challenging one after the trio of fixtures against sides near the foot of the Championship table. It's all against sides above them and a long trip to Swansea. Riesberg, and now Kane. Jordi de Wijs. Well, he's gone for the big diagonal ball to find Bowen, but Reading have read it well, and now they look to come forward, searching for Oliveira in the centre. Only 6 games so far for him since coming on loan from Nottingham Forest, but 3 goals so far. Jordi de Wijs going in search of Jarrod Bowen again. And to play for a throw-in. Pugh, the ball runs through again. Irvine wants that ball back. Grzycki, couple to aim at over on his right-hand side. He went in search of Pugh. The free kick is given right on the edge of the penalty area, and Reading not happy with that decision at all. That little ball played through, and really Reading have a few complaints there, as they feel that that was a ball won first rather than the man being caught. Liam Moore, Reading's captain, leading the protests here from referee Tim Robinson. So Tim Robinson managing to find a hole in Reading's wall there as he marks the line. Can Grzycki find it, or is Bowen going to be the man to size this one up? Certainly having a good look. The 2 wingers who have been so influential for the Tigers so far this season both fancy their chances here. Grzycki straight into the wall and then fired back again. Bowen on the slide, but now Reading with a line of 5 look to sprint forward here. They completely outnumber the Tigers, and into the box they come, but they can't pick out the man over on the left-hand side. It should have been more really there for Reading. And Reading there really should have done better with that opportunity, managing to sprint away. Lewis Baker carrying the ball forward. Irvine and Campbell trying to get back as much as possible. Oliveira on loan from Norwich, trying to play the ball across. But look at that bank of 5 that Reading had there. A real good counter-attack, but they could not make it 2-0. Grzycki. Irvine. Henriksen. Wide it goes towards Todd Kane, who has space to work with here. He manages to get it in, but it will be cleared away by Reading. There wasn't too many options to aim at in the box. Jordi de Wijs managing to head it down to Irvine, gets the ball back. His turn to cross. Campbell could just about get there, and he has done, and he's gone for the looping cross. But the offside flag is up, met by real frustration from the Tigers fans. And Fraser Campbell actually stands with his arms apart. And a bit of confusion for the referee to resolve here, as Campbell is not happy with that one. But both blocks of the East Stand and West Stand, which were in line there, were certainly up in protest. Lehigh. Campbell trying to lay it off into the path of Pugh. Really good through ball. The flag is down this time. 1-1. It's Kamil Grzycki who manages to come up with the equaliser this time. He tried and tried again to make things happen in the first half, but now he's been able to come up with a goal. And that is the equaliser the Tigers were looking for, the wake-up call. Campbell's through ball, the same as 7 days ago then. It is the Tigers' number 25 who links up with one of our wingers, and that is a nice finish. And once again, the post has helped out Kamil Grzycki. Didn't even need his turbo to get onto that through ball. It was perfectly weighted, and now the Tigers are back level at 1 goal each. Well, Reading having a great chance at the other end just 2 minutes ago, and the Tigers responding well here, and Lewis Baker's glorious efforts cut out then. And is the motivation and confidence now with the Tigers? Bowen, Grzycki, Kane coming forward too. That's a decent looking through ball. It looked it at first. Kane giving up on it in the end, as he felt he couldn't get there. I think Martinez would have been able to get there pretty handily. But that is the goal the Tigers needed. It is the wake-up call within 10 minutes of the restart as well. And now the points currently are being shared. Irvine. And now Henriksen. This is much better from the Tigers until that point where the pass was just a little bit too much. Nigel Adkins and Jose Gomez just have a little look at one another as we wait for the restart. And that was poor from the Tigers. Poor touch. It almost looks as though there may be a slight change in system for the Tigers here, as Campbell and Grzycki sitting much further afield of the midfield, with Bowen now potentially playing as a more classic right midfielder to try and get him more involved in a more creative style rather than being the goal scorer. We'll see how that one pans out as this afternoon wears on. Henriksen's flick on. Beck trying to win that one, and he has done this time from Oliveira. Reading now trying to carve a way through to restore their lead. The Tigers have had more chances, but Reading have one here. It's a beautifully weighted through ball. Reading put it in the net, but the flag is up for offside. Linesman very much in the correct position. And it was up very early. The whistle had already gone before the ball hit the back of the net. Back with Marshall. Tigers started today already 5 points ahead of their previous total last year. And of course, with 7 games to go and a ambitious playoff push on the cards, there is still opportunity for more points to be claimed. Level goal difference at the moment for the Tigers, exactly the same as last year. 70 goals apiece last season. Not too far off that stat either. 57 apiece so far this season for the Tigers, whose second half of the season from the Christmas period onwards has been much, much greater. Reading, so far this season, 21 of their 39 games they've played, they've been in the bottom 3. Compare that to the Tigers' poor start when we'd occupied it for 10. But Nigel Adkins, the gaffer, has been able to turn things round and at least put the Tigers in a good, solid position for next year if we aren't to go up. But the Tigers come forward here with Lehigh, and that's a sliced clearance, which then is headed by Blackett. Pugh trying to get a touch. Now Campbell. Bit school playground there in that little phase of play. Oliveira. Now Campbell. Could be a beautifully weighted run from Grzycki. He's in again, but this time it's wide. He really should have scored there. On the hour mark, he could have had a brace in 5 minutes. And again, it was Campbell who picked him out. A lovely run again. He tried to chip the keeper rather than just going for another right-footed side foot finish. And what a chance that was to give Hull City the lead, and Grzycki would have done it all on his own again. Grzycki, and now he returns the favour to Campbell. Campbell steps away. Campbell! It's good defending from Reading. Well positioned there by Liam Moore, and look at him. He's apoplectic at the rest of his Reading teammates there. He was left isolated on his own, but as a good centre half, managing to stand his ground and position himself well. 2 chances in the space of a minute then for the Tigers. The inspiration is back amongst the men in black and amber shirts. In it comes. Irvine trying to win that one. This will be headed out towards Lehigh. And now Kane. This game has developed into a more entertaining one as the Tigers fans are watching on. Decent enough cross to find Jordi de Wijs, who heads it. Grzycki there wanting to keep it in play as well. It's come off de Wijs last, no touch before it went out of play. Goal kick. Miles better since the goal went in. Really strange from Grzycki though in this game, because in the first half he was trying and all sorts, and it just wasn't clicking for him, and then he gets that one chance, and all of a sudden now it's made a real difference. Especially now he's playing in a slightly different position. Considering the number of goals he's scored though, Jarrod Bowen would probably have been a good fit there too. Jaria now gathered by Irvine. Good header to win there by Henriksen as Bowen tries to get a touch. Looked to have won the ball cleanly and fairly there before playing it to Campbell, but a free kick is given the visitors' way. That ball has just strayed out of play from the long ball forward. Back, just getting a little bit of danger. And Marshall clears up towards Pugh, trying to chest control. Now Reading, a little bit of fancier footwork. Cleared away by Marshall. Now Irvine. Oh, Jordi de Wijs has lost it in a really bad area to lose it in. And Barrow now could put Reading back in front, and he can't do so. The Tigers there, almost shooting themselves in the foot. Barrow straight through on goal, but he couldn't make it count. Jordi de Wijs giving the ball away in a really dangerous area. Barrow latching on, but Marshall with a really good piece of goalkeeping there. Barrow swings it in, looking for a man in blue and white. The danger certainly not cleared just yet, as Reading now stake their claim for trying to take all 3 points. Ajaria here, inviting danger. Campbell stamps it out, but it will be a throw-in. Back, heads away. Grzycki. He's going to get a second chance. Campbell brings it in well. Didn't realise there was a man behind him, but Henriksen, the ball's popped to him. He can just step away from a couple of challenges. Grzycki. Men in blue and white all around him. Henriksen now tees it up for Campbell. Scoops it through, neat play this from the Tigers. Grzycki, oh what a save, but now it's in! It's Pugh who scores this time! Just shy of 65 minutes, and the turnaround has been completed. It was a really good save from Martinez there to deny the main goal-scoring threat for the Tigers, but patience here. Decent little passes, lovely chip from Campbell, matched by a lovely delicate touch from Bowen. But Pugh picking up the pieces, always hunting those scraps. And from 5 yards, he makes it 2-1. And Reading here have now got it all to do. Away from home, they've turned it around. Mark Pugh, who was pretty quiet in the first half, has made himself be heard in the second. And the way things stand, the Tigers will now join Sheffield Wednesday, Preston and Nottingham Forest on 57 points. As things stand, the Tigers will join only Sheffield United and Bristol City in leading their matches so far. with 24 minutes of normal time remaining. First stop in play then for an injury, as Yedon lies down on the ground. A really nice second goal, beautifully worked again. And that's something that has really been part of Nigel Adkins' Arsenal, really, in attacking in the last few matches especially. Every player trying to get a touch on the ball to make the attack work. Andy Crosby, who stands alongside him, was halfway up the touchline in celebration after the Tigers regained the lead. And whilst we wait for play to restart, we will show you both goals. Campbell's lovely through ball to pick out Grzycki. That is met by a really nice finish as well. That was the equaliser, and that really has been the catalyst for the Tigers now to go on and get the second goal. And this is how it came about, in as Grzycki makes it 1-1. You can see what it meant to Campbell as well. This is the goal which has made really all the difference in the scoreline. Henriksen picking out Campbell, so casual from the Tigers in a critical time, needing to find the goal that would put us in front, and Pugh tapping in as Martinez made the save. Couldn't react in time for the second one. Henriksen getting involved out wide as well. Pugh wanted it, he eventually got it, not in the fashion he would have liked it, but that is the difference. And now Hull City lead by 2-1 as we just wait for play to restart. Yedon being bandaged up, so he can carry on here. Cut to the head. Well, after Wigan, of course, Middlesbrough will be the next opponents for the Tigers, who trail 2-0 at Swansea. So Tony Pulis' side really starting to fall apart. There's been no changes yet from either side. Both managers leaving it late then to make these changes, which will only stop the fluidity of the game. The Tigers can call upon Chris Martin in the attacking options, the man who was on loan, of course, at Reading previously. Only managed to score 2 goals for Reading. He's on 2 at the moment for the Tigers, and of course from Derby County. The man who got the goal in the first half for Reading and gave the Tigers a scare. But with just over 20 minutes of normal time, Reading have only had a couple of chances, but they could create one here with Ajaria. That's poked back by Jordi Device and sent clear by Marshall. Another game where the Tigers have managed to score twice. Incredible record they're putting together. Last time they failed to do so was against the table toppers Norwich in a 0-0 draw. Kane. Bowen trying to clear it away. Irvine trying to win the ball as well, but it was actually well won by Renamotta. There's not much in the way of time wasting so far from the Tigers, with 20 minutes of normal time remaining. Another goal would be very much welcomed. Bowen looking to win this one. Headed away by Moore. Ajaria looking to find Blackett, and out of play it goes. That's sloppy from Reading, who haven't reacted too well to falling behind here. They have not thrown much in the way of attacking Mike forward. Reading fans were asking the question to Nigel Adkins of what was the score when they led by 1-0. Those questions are certainly not being asked now. But there's still significant time left for things to change, and chances for more goals to come as Pugh looks to find Campbell. And Campbell plays it off Blackett, the two former Manchester United Academy players, and the corner kick for the Tigers. Still got plenty of men back here. The Tigers have not sent as many up. They're all waiting on the edge. And it comes now. Don heading it away. Here is Pugh. Pugh looking to play it in. Jordi de Wijs getting the header. Staying up that time along with Ruud Burke. They're now going to have to shuffle back though, as Martinez puts boot to ball and sends it long. Very well judged header there by Lehigh, as the wind has just been picking up inside and around the stadium, so it will have been swerving a little bit in the air. Oh, Marshall, not the best kick. Hand up in apology. Don't want silly errors now to allow Reading to create chances, as Blackett now has it. Both Nigel Adkins and Andy Crosby calling for the Tigers players to push forward and not let the visitors out here and make them suffer in their quest to try and get an equaliser. Free kick given. Tim Robinson, who's pulling out the yellow card here for Jackson Irvine for that challenge. Not happy, and neither will the Australian fans who've flown across from Melbourne to watch him play. Baker stunning the ball forward. Campbell manages to win that one, and now Bowen can try and accelerate. There he goes, looking for a free kick as well. Nothing given by Tim Robinson. So the ball now is being sent back in the opposite direction. Tigers have got to be alert here. Barrow playing it to Ajaria. The ball just hits his knee. Here's Blackett. He stands up across. Out towards Baker. Yiadom. Well won again by Fraser Campbell. Irvine now trying to play it down the line for Lehigh. And out of play, that one goes for a throw-in. A lot of hard work has been put in by the players on the pitch in this one. Well, the first tactical substitution coming up, and it's going to be for Reading. They are the first ones to have a roll of the dice from the substitutes bench to try and make things happen. Nigel Adkins, you would probably expect him, might not even use all of them, but Reading are now getting the personnel ready for what would appear to be maybe a triple change. Henriksen. But still, Reading go on. Not the best clearance in the world, but Lehigh will head that one back towards Marshall. Well composed again from the full-back. And that piece of distribution sets the Tigers nicely on our way as Todd Kane looks to find Bowen. He's a little bit misplaced. Ruud Burke here will keep things sensible. Play it back towards Marshall. Reading now trying to again piece something together. Ejaria and Blackett linking up. That's neat footwork from Ejaria. Looks to fire it into the middle. That's not the best touch. Campbell. It's Grzycki who's on his way here. He's all alone in black and amber, but he's made it 3-1. A brace at Portman Road, and now a brace in front of the Categong crowd. And that might just put the Tigers out of sight. And once again, it's Campbell linking up, and that is a neat finish on the right foot. It's becoming a trademark now, especially in this game. Campbell finding our winger, who is trying to charge down on Jarrod Bowen's goal-scoring tally, it would seem. He's in again. And that might just be the goal which really puts the Tigers out of sight. A second half performance completely different to the first. 13 minutes left. Hull City 3, Reading 1. And the two wingers, the two fan favourites, embrace. Triple change coming up then for Reading. Gareth McCleary going to be the first man to come on as Oliveira makes his way off. Next on will be Danny Loader. And the third man will be Callum Harriott, who's going to come on. It'd be nice to get a fifth goal in this game, just to rub some salt into the wounds. Reading then making all three changes in one go as Barrow also makes his way off.
And finally coming off number 21, Yaku Meite, to be replaced by number 43.
Meite also making his way off the pitch here for Danny Loader to come on. And now they really have got a job on their hands, Reading, who now trail 3-1. Now are only 1 point above the drop zone, because Rotherham, as things stand, lead by 2-1. Henriksen, the clever dummy there by Campbell, but Pugh just couldn't get there in time. Martinez, his time wasting in the first half has in the end come back to haunt him. Jose Gomez just turns and looks at the West Stand crowd as he waits for the ball to come back. Nigel Adkins and Andy Crosby are just having their first chat about substitutions. Meanwhile, Danny Loader is being ordered back off the pitch here, and I think it's an issue with the tape around his ankles, it would seem. So apparently, of course, you can't have different coloured tape. It's one of the daft rules, but Tim Robinson spotted it. Obviously reads the rule book in the finest detail. The only player that I've known have to come off the sock tape was David Silva a couple of seasons ago, as Reading come forward out wide. And it comes. Searching for the head of Baker, who's in amongst it again. He looks to take this off Marshall. That's going to be a goal kick, to the dismay of the Reading fans. Less than 10 minutes to go now. The Tigers are sitting pretty at the moment with 3 goals and 3 points. Long journey back for the Reading faithful. And those who will have their mobile phones out looking at the scorelines up and down the country may just be a little bit worried at how things are materialising elsewhere. Best touch from Blackett. Campbell continuing to run. Todd Kane, little word with the bench. He makes his way back over to the sideline here to restart the game from the throw-in. Pugh. Kane. Headed down by Pugh to find Bowen. Irvine working it wide well. Throw-in to be taken by Eric Lehigh. Grzycki always looking. And finds Henriksen. Fancies it from range. Wide of the target. Could quite possibly have been the pick of the bunch if that one had strayed in. Kane with a big whack away. Bowen still trying on his endeavours to make something happen. The former Reading loanee is about to come on for the Tigers. Chris Martin set to come on here. Nobody attacking that goal kick by Marshall. Just passing this one around for the time being, looking for the options to try and get the ball forward. Free kick given. Kamil Grzycki, following today, has matched the amount of goals that he scored last year, and he's done it with 5 games to spare as the first substitution is being made by the Tigers. And Fraser Campbell, despite being the main striker in the lineup, has been the man with the creativity to play the through balls to pick out Grzycki on 2 occasions. Not have got a goal himself, but he has certainly played his part in this second half and been able to get the Tigers 3 potential points, and Chris Martin makes his way on. And that scoreline keeps the Tigers in the playoff hunt. Reading with a throw-in which they take long. Oh, and there is a little touch there at the back post. It was by Harriott, but easily gathered by Marshall in the end. Well, Reading tiptoeing their way forward, eventually stamped out by Lehigh, who's had an exceptional game at right back today. But Reading have it back, and then they send it careering into the north stand with no real trouble, except for the Tigers fans around there who will want to be eagle-eyed as the ball makes its way back to the pitch. Second change coming up, and one of the 2 goal scorers then, Mark Pugh, making his way off here. He will be replaced by Evandro, and Mark Pugh getting on the score sheet, and here's how he did it. Lovely team move for the Tigers. Bowen's shot parried out by Martinez, but only into the path of our number 8, Mark Pugh. A really well worked goal, and that was the one that gave us the 2-1 lead. Body device again, big kick. Headed well by Moore. Pressure though from Chris Martin, fresh legs. Wanting to get in on the act. Henriksen. Now Irvine, good movement again, and Grzycki here makes his way up towards the penalty area, fires it across, looking for Bowen. But that was good work there by Liam Moore. And a free kick is given Reading's way. He has tried to carry his defence in this second half, Liam Moore, but to no avail. Bowen looking to win it back, gets the touch in. There's just 3.5 minutes of normal time remaining. A very quiet stadium, especially in the Reading end, as they look at the scoreline at the New York Stadium, as Rotherham still lead Nottingham Forest. Reading coming into this one, hoping for a league double over the Tigers for the first time since 1987. But barring a minor miracle for them, doesn't look like that will be happening. As Evandro scrapping, wrestling for the ball. Doesn't get anything, and it will be a Reading throw-in. But the Tigers are going to make their third and final change, and that is that Kevin Stewart is going to come on here for the man who has made the difference once again. An exceptional performance for Kamil Grzycki again. This was the equaliser. Lovely finish into the bottom right-hand corner, in off the post once more. And then again, Campbell's through ball. Picked him out, he was on his way, the turbo in full flow. And the right-footed finish, making it 3-1. Big pat on the back from the manager. Gets plenty of assists, and it turns out he can get plenty of goals as well. Now Chris Martin. Played away well by Lehigh, and he really well to keep it in play as well. Martin now finds Evandro as the two subs link up. Here's Irvine going in search of a fourth. Here the Tigers, Evandro, little step over, carrying on his quest. Henriksen in support. Irvine again, lovely ball played in. Henriksen now tees it up for Kane. Henriksen, who's going to get the shot in? Nobody in the end, as Reading put the tackle in. And then Blackett clears it away to safety. But what a lovely little move that was from the Tigers, being able to just keep the ball. Evandro searching down the line, and Kane decides there's no point in chasing after that one and would rather return to a safe position. As the last few seconds tick by of normal time, the board will go up to see how much longer we have in stoppages. Six minutes of injury time here at the KCOM Stadium. Here's Yedom. Loader trying to get the necessary touch. Martin. Now Stewart hasn't been able to get back in the starting 11 today, replaced in the selection by the captain Henriksen, and Irvine, who's played so well, getting to keep his place. Bowen is offside. Proctor bumped into, free kick given. The yellow card comes out for Chris Martin there as the Tigers just try to wind the clock down themselves now. Yeardom. And now Lehigh. The ball's bounced kindly into Loder's path, but now on the edge of the area again. Henriksen scrapping. And now can the Tigers use that counter-attack to full effect? Evandro here waiting and waiting a little too long. Kane has skipped past two men and now Evandro has it back. Stewart to Henriksen. Looks as though the Tigers are playing safe here. Towards Bowen, just hasn't got the height there over Blackett. Ball just bouncing over him too. Henriksen going down, and the free kick going against him. And again, the Tigers still trying to really wind the clock down, and now Jarrod Bowen. Just letting tempers flare with Blackett. About 10 minutes ago, it was handshakes from Bowen's tackle, but now it's words of exchange. Just got to keep his concentration for just a few more minutes, and the Tigers will be safely over the line with 3 points. Steve Bruce, former Hull City manager, now manager of Sheffield Wednesday, against his former club Aston Villa. Aston Villa have scored late on to potentially snatch all the points, which makes some difference in the playoff standings, as Bowen looks to move forward and now gets clipped by Blackett, showing his frustration, a smile on the face, and Tim Robinson, who knows that he's just spoken to the pair of them, is going to dish out a yellow card. Irvine, and now Bowen. Cries from the crowd as with each pass the Tigers retain possession, and they're a couple of minutes away from victory. Bowen trying to link up well here, and Bowen fancies his chances. He wants a piece of the action on the score sheet, but it just goes wide of the target. End up with an apology there. When you've scored so many goals, 21 of them in fact, you of course want to try and get some more. Good link-up play between himself and Evandro, but pulling the shot wide in the end. Martin. And now Kane. Kane. Oh, just escaping his clutches there again. And then Ejaria loses the ball cheaply. Henriksen now finds Bowen. He's going to slow everything down here. He's got a little bit of support. Chris Martin wants it playing to him. Here's Evandro. Now Martin. Into the final seconds of this fixture. The Tigers look home and dry now, but they've given it away very cheaply. There's a few tired legs for Reading. They're not being able to get up as quickly as they would like. Ejaria being hassled all the way by Kevin Stewart. And now it's the Tigers' turn to maybe attack. Henriksen trying to pick out Bowen. Chris Martin here just waiting and waiting to try and play the pass. Henriksen trying to play it down the line to Bowen. But in the end, it will trickle towards the corner flag. Kept in. Waiting now for the whistle from Tim Robinson. And there it is. It is all over here at the KCOM Stadium. A second half completely different to the first for the Tigers, who trailed 1-0 at half-time, and it looked as though it was going to be one of those afternoons where it could be a real goodbye to any playoff chances following Lewis Baker's strike. Pugh managing to get the second goal for the Tigers in 3 goals for Hull City, which made the real difference today here at the KCOM Stadium. Showing great resilience in the end in the second half. Jarrod Bowen may not have scored today, but his wing companion in Kamil Grzycki managing to get yet another brace, getting 4 goals in 2 matches. And with that, the bottom end of the championship table is even more congested now, as the Tigers are within, by the looks of things, 3 points potentially of the playoffs. Anything between 3 and 6 depending on the final scores, but the Tigers look like they're going to move up a place, and they're going to join the likes of Borough, Nottingham Forest and Preston on 57 points. Marcus Henriksen, the captain, going over to the north stand. It was a bit of a fiddly game for Tim Robinson to conduct. Not many crunching tackles, it was more the time wasting and pushing and shoving which he had to deal with. But at full time here at the KCOM Stadium, it's 3 points we care about, and it's 3 points we've got going into the midweek match against Wigan. Final score here at the KCOM: Hull City 3, Reading 1.